What's up, guys? This is going to be a vibe coding session. We're going to vibe code an existing app that we have. It's just the boom. No, sorry for the technical difficulties. Let me continue with the vibe coding session without the cat. So here's what we're going to build. We're going to vibe code one of my personal websites. We're going to integrate email OTP authentication system with Supabase as the backend, and we're going to use Supabase MCP. And of course, we're going to configure our Claude code and development environment. And then we're going to deploy it to Vercel. So here's the website. Basically, we just have some basic section here where you can learn about some AI hubs like the OpenAI Academy, Claude for Education, Deep Learning AI, and the AI engineering community. I definitely recommend you guys check it out. There's this newsletter section where people can enter their email, but it doesn't work. Like, you can type in stuff, and then when you press enter, it says successfully subscribed, but nothing really works right now. And then there's a blog. So when you click the blog, there's a blog that you can read. There's this really cool tracing beam on the left. If you don't want to read the whole article, you click this button called Summarize with ChatGPT. When you click that, it takes you to ChatGPT, and then it enters this prompt for you. You can send that off, and it will read the blog and then summarize it for you. All right, so before I get into any development or coding, we create a plan, we have a backlog of work, we track our work, right? So I have an instance of Jira. You can sign up for free for Jira. I'm going to create my tasks and fill those out, and then we're going to gradually complete them one by one. I'll do this first, and then I'll come back. All right, so here's what I got. I have a backlog of tasks. So you're probably wondering what approach I did to do my research and put all the documentation together. I am using the combination of Perplexity and Claude Desktop to do a deep research. So Claude Desktop has the deep research mode. All you need to do is flip this switch and do a deep research on Supabase OTP authentication. I also went through the official Supabase documentation, which definitely helped me out. And I will share this documentation in the description of the YouTube video. All right, so while I was doing some research on how to configure this, I have pretty much just took some notes and I just copy pasted it into the context window. I told it to create it inside the scripts folder. So it created this file, which pretty much sends an OTP email, puts an auth code there for me, and then I just input it and verify it. So I'm going to run this script. So it added this script right here, which is like a variable. So all I need to say is PNP run OTP, and it'll run this script for me. So now I'll just provide my email, and then it's sent over an OTP. So I'll check my email now, confirm sign up, and that's my code. So I'll take that. I'll just paste it in the CLI, and then it's verified, and it works as expected. So one of the issues I had previously is that when I was testing it, I was missing this. So on the initial go, it forgot to add this part right here because it was sending me the magic link confirmation URL instead of the OTP. So for example, if we go to Supabase and we have confirm sign up and we have magic link. If you don't specify type email, then it's going to end up sending you the magic link with the confirmation URL instead of the confirm sign up. I'm going to mark this as complete. We have configured Supabase. We have tested the email OTP delivery system. So we'll move that to done. Now the next task is to create a Supabase client utility. So as a developer, I need to create a Supabase client utility so that I can make authentication requests for both client and server components. So we need a client.ts file created for browser-side operations, and then we need a server.ts created with cookie handling with Supabase SSR, and then this cookie get all and set all functions are implemented correctly. TypeScript types are properly configured. Both clients can be imported and used in the app. So we need to create some technical details to ensure that we do this correctly. So I'm going to go do some research in Perplexity. I'm just going to add the story and just some context, and we'll see where that takes me. But before I get into that, I'm going to commit these changes and push it out. All right, so I just pushed that to a new change. Now I'm gonna create a new branch specifically for this Jira task. Now I noticed that we have something called create a branch. So I'm gonna see if I can configure this. So it looks like I can configure GitHub with Jira. So I'm gonna connect that. I am going to branch from main. Now actually I'm gonna branch off of setup Supabase config. This is the branch we wanna branch off of. So let's see if that'll work. All right, cool. So I'm going to view this branch in GitHub. Sweet, so I have a branch. So now I'm gonna go git fetch, and then I'm gonna just check out that new branch that I created. All right, so I'm gonna just take the branch name. I'm gonna say git check out that branch. So I switched to it. All right, cool. So I'm in that branch. All right, so let's go back to Jira and see what that looks like. And let's just refresh the page. All right, sweet. So I have this Jira task connected to GitHub. Awesome. This is really cool. All right, I'm gonna continue to use Perplexity. I created a space specifically for Supabase. So let's paste in the user story. And I'm gonna tell it to provide me the technical documentation for implementation. So let's see what it's gonna do. All right, so it gave me a response, gave me a structure, some information. I reviewed it, I have some doubts, so I'm going to say, is this the correct valid implementation? Can you double check it for me? And it has identified some discrepancies. So now it's looking at the latest 2025 Next.js implementation. So it's suggesting to avoid some duplicating some cookie logic, and it's best to use cookies.get. So I feel a little confident now that I asked a little more questions. So I'm gonna just take this and run with it. For this use case, I'm just gonna use Grok Code Fast and see how it does. And I'm gonna put it in code mode. Just paste that in. I'm gonna send that out and see what it does. So it's creating the directories for me, the types, class, the client.ts file. So it looks like the implementation plan had an error. So Grok actually did a web search on the official docs to fix it, to set get all into set all. Interesting. For some reason I have two clients. So I'm gonna try to fix that. I don't know why we have two clients here. Oh, we have a create browser client and we have a create server client. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I'm gonna commit these changes, but I added something for you. I added a .husky. This is pre-commit checks to ensure that I always run a clear cache, build, lint, format, and a type check to ensure that I have clean code, I don't have any errors or some type check errors or lint errors. This just makes sure that while I vibe code, I don't cause a disaster in the code. All right, so we need to install Husky, so I'm gonna install that. And then I'm gonna run that git commit check, git status, git add all, see if it does a git commit. All right, so Grok pretty much helped me out. So it gave me a proper pre-commit check file, and it has given me the correct commands right here related to the pre-commit check. So if I say git status, now if I say git add all, and then do git commit, resolve recursion, and that will run my pre-commit checks. So if I say pnp run dev, it should run successfully, no issues, hopefully. So everything looks healthy, no errors. All right, so I'm gonna mark this task as complete. Everything's in this branch already, so I am good. I think I can create a pull request if I want to. So I'm gonna save that. I'm gonna create a pull request and see how that looks like. So it's able to merge. I'm going to have Copilot add the description for me. So it's summarizing changes for me, and things look good. It's saying that some minor formats, but that's just the Claude file and the Copilot instructions file. But I'm just gonna create the pull request. If we scroll down, it looks like it don't have Vercel. Oh, Vercel is connected. All right, so it looks like it deployed a preview environment for me for this branch in Vercel. So if I go to Vercel and I go to my project, go to deployments, you'll see that I have this preview environment. So before I push to production, I have a preview environment to test the app in, which is really nice. So I'll go back to, and once I go to my pull request, I will merge it. And then when I confirm the merge, I'm gonna go back to Vercel, and you'll see that a production build is already being built for me. So I'll let that build, and now we can just go to the next feature. So I'm gonna mark this as done. The next feature is implement middleware for session management. For this time, I'm gonna have Claude Desktop do some research for me. So I'm providing it just the story, and I'm just telling it to research some documentation and how to implement this. So I believe it's using the MCP tool. Yeah, so I have Supabase already connected, which is the Supabase MCP tool. So it's using that for me. Let's see what it comes up with. It searched using the Supabase MCP tool search docs tool, which uses GraphQL. And let's see what it had. Implementation guide for automatic session refresh in Next.js. Create a middleware file. Okay. So it looks like it's already using the create server client, which I am already using inside the project. So let's see. It's suggesting if the user is not authenticated, it'll route them back to login or auth or one of these pages. All right, so the middleware runs on every request. It calls Supabase auth.getUser, checks if the access token is expired. If it's expired, uses the refresh token to get a new access token, automatically refreshes the session. All right, so I'm gonna take this documentation, I'm gonna add it to the Jira ticket. All right, in the meantime, let's check on that deployment to production. So that was successful and everything's still healthy. All right, so now I think we should bring out the big guns. So we're gonna bring out Claude Code. We're gonna configure it with the Supabase MCP tool, and we're just gonna make sure we have a Supabase agent. So we're gonna use a custom agent, and let's just get that working. All right, so here's what I got. I'm going to launch Claude Code, Codex, and Gemini, and I'm gonna use all three of them. So in this terminal, I'm gonna use Claude Dangerous Permissions mode. All right, so I'm gonna run Claude MCP list to see if I have any MCP tools installed. So I do not have any MCP tools installed. So I'm gonna go to install my Claude. So I'm gonna go ahead and install my Supabase MCP tool. So let's just go get the access token. All right, so what we need to do is go to your profile, go to account preferences, go to access token, and generate a new token. Say this expires in 30 days. Claude code. All right, so all you need to do is take this command here, place in your access token here, and then send that in the terminal. All right, so I added it. I'm gonna run Claude MCP list, and I should have the MCP Supabase tool connected, which is connected now. All right, now I can run Claude. All right, now it's active, and we can start, using Claude Code. So first things first, we need agents. So we need to create a dedicated agent specifically for Supabase. So I'm gonna create it inside the project. I'm gonna generate with Claude. And I'm gonna just say I want an agent. All right, I'm gonna meta prompt. I'm gonna take the screenshot of this to describe what the agent should do. And I'm just gonna tell in this project to create a dedicated agent for us. All right, so I'm gonna take this prompt and I'm gonna clean it up a little bit because I already see some issues with it. All right, so this looks good. I'm gonna give it to Claude Code now. Just paste that in, just let it do its thing. All right, I'm gonna pick Sonnet for this model. I'm gonna give it green because Supabase is green. And that looks good. All right, so you have our Supabase Next.js expert. Let's take a look at it. I'm gonna review it, make sure everything's good. So the prompt looks correct to me, so I'm just gonna run with it. All right, and now I'm just gonna execute my task. Just gonna give it the user story and everything, and just let Claude do its thing. So I'm gonna set it on plan mode, and then just give it the task. All right, so it created a plan for me, so I'm gonna check it out. So we're gonna use Supabase SAR with proper cookie handling. It's gonna match the URL and the publishable key. It looks good. It looks like Claude is done. So I'm gonna review his code changes. The key features, the token refresh, users won't be logged out unexpectedly. Server-side validation for get user, for validating tokens. Cookie management, public route handling to ensure that marketing pages are accessible without authentication. Unauthenticated users will be redirected to login. Okay. All right, so I just got done reviewing the code and things look good. So I'm gonna mark this as done. That's done. And now we need to build the login page with the login input. So as a new or returning user, I want to enter my email address so that I can receive OTP code to sign in. So login page is created, email input field with validation, send code, button trigger, sign in with OTP. Loading state is shown while sending OTP. Success message is sent. And then user is redirected to the verify page after OTP is sent. Email value is passed to verify the page. Okay. All right, this is pretty straightforward. I'm gonna just copy the whole user story. I'm going to stay in the same context window of where I have implemented this Supabase middleware. And I'm gonna just add this, set it in plan mode. I'm gonna give it additional context. All right, so I sent out the prompt. I'm not sure if this is gonna be the best prompt, but I gave it the instructions. I told it we need a login page to take an input, which is the email. We need to remove the sign up page because we will not be using it. When we send an OTP email successfully, we then need to render an input field to enter the 6-digit OTP code. When the user submits the OTP code and is successfully validated and the token is returned, then we route them to the dashboard page, which is a protected route. All right, so it just got done creating the plan for me. So I'm gonna review it and make sure it's good. All right, it looks good, but I wanna update the user interface. All right, so I'm gonna go directly to Shadcn because they have the OTP. So I'm gonna just copy this code. So yeah, I'm gonna use this enter verification code component from. All right, so I sent out that prompt and it came back with the plan. And I rejected it because I wanted to add the Shadcn UI OTP component. So directly in Shadcn UI, I just took the code and I just pretty much just provided it into the context window here. So I sent that off and it has included it within its plan. So this was the plan. I approved it and it started executing the plan. So the final result is I got a working authentication feature. So let's go test it out. I'm gonna run the app, navigate to localhost. I don't have the login page link right now, but I'm just gonna navigate to the login page. And then you see I have a single email input. I'm gonna send my email, send verification. And then when it's successfully sent to my email, then it will redirect me here. So now I'll go to my email and you see I got an email right here. Your OTP is this, 720. So I'll just copy paste it in there. Oh, the copy paste doesn't work. I hate that. So I'll fix that later. So I have to manually input 720-376. That should redirect me to the dashboard and I'm logged in. Sweet. I can go home. I can go back to the login page. But I'm already authenticated, so I don't need to log in again. So I need to fix that. So if I'm already logged in, then it should redirect me to dashboard. So I'll go to dashboard. Okay, I can navigate to dashboard. All right, so I'm gonna log out. And then if I try to navigate to dashboard, it shouldn't do it because it's a protected route. So it's redirecting me to the login page. All right, so that's working as expected. So if I go to so if I go to the main page, I'm good. But if I go to the dashboard when I'm logged out, it takes me to the login page. And then if I try to log back in, I'll send another auth code and I'll put in my auth code 575-004. All right, now that's working perfectly. All right, cool. So OTP is working as expected. Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna stop it here and I'll see you guys for part 2 on a different video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll leave some details in the description to gain access to this code base.